When you marry someone, you expect love to rise and fall, not to disappear beneath a pile of excuses. My wife, Claire, always had a new one every night. I'm exhausted. I've got a headache. Maybe tomorrow. At first, I believed her. I'd massage her shoulders, make her tea, even tidy up the kitchen just to make her evening easier. But it didn't take long for me to realize it wasn't exhaustion that kept her distant. It was indifference. She could stay awake scrolling through her phone for hours, laughing at videos, chatting with coworkers, perfectly alert. Yet the moment I reached out, she suddenly felt too tired. Weeks went by, and our bed started to feel colder than a vacant hotel room. I'd lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering when I'd turned invisible to my own wife. One night, as she brushed her hair, I finally asked, "Claire, do you even want to be with me anymore?" She met my eyes through the mirror, her tone cutting. "You're being dramatic, Daniel. Just because I'm not in the mood doesn't mean something's wrong." "Not in the mood for a month?" I shot back. She rolled her eyes. "You men think intimacy is everything. Grow up." That stung more than I expected. I walked out of the room and slept on the couch, realizing she wasn't tired. She was simply comfortable taking without ever giving. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. She asked me to transfer money for groceries, her salon visit, and a girls' night that weekend. That's when something inside me snapped. I saw how one-sided things have become emotionally, physically, and financially. If she could go a month without touching me, maybe she could go a month without touching my wallet too. So when she texted, "Can you send me $10K? I need to book something for tomorrow," I replied, "I'm tired. Maybe tomorrow." Her typing bubble lingered for a full minute. That's when I knew the balance had shifted. Her month of shock began. During the first week, she barely noticed. She thought I was just sulking. She'd make small talk, act sweet, and drop hints like, "Hey, the girls are planning a weekend trip. You'll send me some money later, right?" I smiled and answered the same way she always had. "Maybe tomorrow, Claire. I'm just not in the mood." At first, she laughed, assuming I was joking. But by the second week, when her phone stopped buzzing with bank alerts, her tone changed. "Daniel," she snapped one morning, "the electricity bill's due. Why haven't you paid it?" I took a sip of my coffee and shrugged. "I was tired last night. You know how it is." Her eyes widened, the same way mine had every time she dismissed me with that same casual coldness. Now she was tasting her own indifference. By the third week, she was furious. Her nails were chipped from missing salon visits. Her friends went on that trip without her. She accused me of being petty. "You're punishing me," she said bitterly. I looked up from my laptop, calm as ever. "No, Claire, I'm just matching your energy. You've shown me what happens when one person keeps giving and the other keeps taking." That quiet truth silenced her. But soon she tried a different tactic, charm. One evening, she put on the perfume that used to drive me crazy, walked up behind me and whispered, "You've been distant lately. Let's not fight." I turned slowly, gave a faint smile, and said, "I'd love to, but I'm not really in the mood tonight." Her expression fell instantly. For the first time in months, I saw a realization flicker across her face, the sting of rejection when it's mirrored back with precision instead of anger. She slammed the bedroom door behind her, muttering, "You're unbelievable." That night, for the first time in ages, I slept peacefully. I hadn't shouted, I hadn't begged. I'd simply taught through silence. By week 4, she wasn't angry anymore. She was anxious. Her credit card bills piled up. Her social calendar went blank. And she finally began to understand relationships aren't sustained by convenience, but by consistency. By the end of that month, something had shifted. The fire in her tone had faded, replaced by quiet frustration. She started getting up early, cooking breakfast, cleaning, things she hadn't done in months. It wasn't guilt. Not yet. It was confusion. She couldn't comprehend how the man who once begged for her affection could now sit across from her so calm, so detached, as if her hold over me had vanished overnight. One evening, she finally broke. "Daniel," she said softly, "I know I've been distant. I didn't think it mattered that much to you. I looked up from my tea and said, "That's exactly the problem, Claire. You didn't think it mattered, because you thought I'd always stay, no matter how you treated me." Her eyes filled with tears. "I thought you'd understand that I was just tired." "Tired for a night? Sure. Tired for a month? That's a decision," I replied. "And when you made that decision, you chose to make me invisible." Silence filled the room, heavy and honest. She reached for my hand, but I didn't move. For once, I let her sit in the discomfort she had created. Over the next few days, she tried everything: heartfelt texts, surprise dinners, genuine apologies. And while part of me wanted to soften, another part knew this was the first time she truly understood the imbalance she'd built. Then, one night, she said something that stopped me cold. "You know what's strange?" she whispered. "You never yelled, but I've never felt so small. I finally understand what it's like to be ignored." I leaned back and said quietly, "Then maybe now you see what love becomes when one person gives and the other only takes." Tears streamed down her cheeks as she nodded. "I do, and I'm sorry, Daniel. I don't want to live like that anymore." I didn't forgive her right away. Change doesn't come from words. It comes from consistency. But as the days passed, I saw her trying, really trying, to rebuild what she had broken. And though our story didn't end with grand gestures or dramatic apologies, it ended with balance. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't loud or cruel. It's quiet and deliberate. It's letting someone feel the emptiness they once made you live with. And when they finally understand it, you don't need to hurt them. You just have to decide if they're worth forgiving.